Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well. Today we are talking about Savio. I've already done a live stream on him joining the club, when it was breaking news. But now let's talk about what he can bring to Man City as an actual footballer. What he offers us that no other footballer really can in our current squad. Now, that's not to say that he is completely unique to everyone else, but some skills that he probably maybe excels in a bit more than others. So without further ado, let's just crack on with it, shall we? So I've got all sorts of stats here. You've seen some of the screens of this before. Look, he's really young. He's 20 years old, which means, by the end of his contract, 2029, he's only 25. He's 5 years into the squad. Who knows how well he's doing then? And look, I know I'm talking a bit weird here, but 25 and he's not excel to the levels we want, we could probably still get money for it, a good amount as well. But look, obviously I don't want that. I want this deal to work out. But the good thing is he's so young, and we've got so much time for him to develop and get really into the squad. Grow into it. He's a winger. He does play on the wing. He played there. I think he predominantly played left wing for Girona last season, where he did absolutely unbelievably. Although his position is typically known to be right winger, he is a left-footed winger, by the way. So to be playing on the left is an interesting area. A lot of wingers do tend to be put on the opposite side so they can cut in. So if you're right-footed, you'll usually be on the left wing, so you can cut in on your right. He's on a 5-year contract, as you can expect. Last season he played 41 games. He had no injuries, and he got 21 GNA. So it's just over a goal contribution every 2 games, which isn't too bad when you're just looking at it like that. 6 yellows, no reds, all good news there. And it's just nice to see those kind of stats. I know at Copa America he had the most successful dribbles per 90, I'm pretty sure. Either way, he had a really high stat in dribbling. If you look at his stats on websites, a lot of them are in the greens. He just looks like a really good player. And that's why I get on to his value and what we got him for. And I'd like to just talk about something here when I get to it. 50 million euro transfer value. Absolutely unbelievable transfer value. And for someone so young. But what's even more unbelievable is the fee we got him for. We got him for about 21.5 million quid, and add-ons can bring that up to about 33.6 quid. Now I know it says 25 at the bottom, but that's because I've converted it into euros and just so it matches the rest of my screen. So yeah, we bought him for about 25 million euros, and add-ons can bring that to about 40 million euros from what I've read and what's been reported by Fabrizio Romano. So it's all decent there. To get him for 25 million is really good. Now then, just want to address something. So I've seen a couple of rival fans complaining that, Man City have signed this winger, really good, really young winger who's had an unbelievable breakthrough season at Girona, and his market value is 50 million, but City have got him for 25 mil. It just seems unreal business, considering the club that City signed them from were their own club, and that was the highest offer 25 million from Man City. Was that the highest Troyes could get? Now then, I just want to iron something out. Right now, that looks like an absolute bargain. 25 mil, and it probably is, to be honest. 25 million. Okay, with add-ons included, can bring it to 40, but to even get him that cheap is really good. But I'd like to mention, back when we signed Savio, I did a video a while ago. We've had this deal done since February. This deal has been done for about 5 months. City fans have known about this for a while now. We've just kind of been waiting for the announcement. That's really all it's been. We've just been waiting to see Savio come through the door and wear the shirt. That's really all that it's been since February. If you go back to February, where the deal was all done, it was during a season. Savio's market value was about 30 million, here or there. It was 30 million, and so sure, we paid 25, but add-ons can probably easily bring that to 40. And I'd like to say the add-ons probably have something to do about getting a certain amount of G&A, but also winning a Premier League or winning a certain silverware. And look, I'm not trying to sound big-headed when I say this. That isn't unusual for City. Those are pretty decent add-ons for another club when it comes to working with City, because we are one of the most successful clubs over the last decade in terms of silverware. We've won so many trophies in the last decade that for any club, throwing in a trophy add-on is probably a bit of good business. But enough about talking about the actual signing. Like I said, what does Savio bring? First of all, I want to mention his dribbles, his good G&A, and the lack of injuries. It's really good that he has a lack of injuries. He did have a big one when he was playing for PSV the season before, but that's really only been the one we've had. And when he's at City, he's underneath the best medical services he'd probably get in the world. Haaland had a bad injury record at Dortmund. His first season with City, it went pretty well. It always goes pretty well in terms of injuries when players do play for us. That's just how it tends to go. Of course, there are cases where we just can't keep the player fit. There are always some cases. But enough of that. Let's actually have a look at Savio and what he probably looks like in a Man City team. Now then, you're all familiar with this screen by now. Oh no, don't want that. Yeah, you're all familiar with this. Used it a few times as of late. There he is on the right wing. I've only got him on the right wing at the moment, and I just want to kind of get across how this works. Now then, Phil Foden, you could probably interchange that and make it Kevin De Bruyne. Jack Grealish, you can easily make Doku, and you could probably even make Savio Bernardo. But the good thing is with Savio here, so you don't have to put Phil Foden here as much anymore. You don't have to put him there. You don't have to put Bernardo Silva here as much anymore. We have an actual winger who is left-footed, and I know he played a lot of his time on the left where Grealish is, but he is left-footed, and therefore he could probably do a job on the right. Like how Doku was a right wing at Rennes, but came to City and has played predominantly on the left. And I like the balance this team has. City fans already know the good balance between Kova and Rodri. I've been a huge fan of that when that was tested near the end of the season. Jack Grealish very controlling on the ball, can slow the game down, really help you out. But Savio, he's a bit more of an attacking threat, a little bit more like Doku in some respects. He will dribble at players. He's not afraid to take someone on. And he just brings another attacking option. Phil Foden, we know what he can do. He can slow the game down similar to Grealish, and he can attack similar to Savio, but in his own way. And Kova, who will drive into the midfield and really help along here to probably make it look like this a lot of times. But let's bring all those back to their respective areas. Now, and of course, you don't have to have Savio here. All you have to do to switch it up is, should we get Bernardo in here? And then you can just stick Savio on the position he played a lot at last season. He played a lot of time on this wing last season. That's the beauty of this option with Savio. You can actually stick wingers where they belong. So Bernardo, for me, I like him a lot in that midfield, but obviously I do like him. I do like seeing Bernardo, obviously, play on the wing. But, again, it's just a really good option. Imagine bringing on Jeremy Doku near the end of the game. Imagine bringing on both of them near the end of the game. Super pacey wingers with so much energy in their legs who are going to take you on. Savio will take on left backs, and Doku will take on your right back. And at the end of the game, that could really help win points, maybe. and really turn the game around to some respect. Just imagine this being Kevin De Bruyne, and he's feeding a ball into Savio. Savio, who got his fair share of assists last season, gets onto that ball, puts it into Haaland, and he buries it. You know, those are options that you're looking at. Of course, KDB can do that with Doku as well, but because they both got the pace, it gives you options. That's what's, again, I know I'm saying options a lot, but that's the beauty of the signing of Savio. You get these options. You have the luxury of such an option. A lot of people comparing him to Riyad Mahrez in some respects. I think that is partly because of his the number he picked. You know, he decided to pick Mahrez because Mahrez, I'm pretty sure he mentioned that Mahrez is his idol. Looked up to Mahrez and really liked watching him play. And, you know, to an extent, you can see that with how Savio plays. Mahrez, absolutely wonderful on the ball, such a good dribbler. Honestly, on his day, really hard to stop. And Savio, who's just completed Copa America, went out not too early, but went out and got like some of the most dribbles in the whole tournament. I'm pretty sure most successful dribbles across 90. So, like I've said, he's just a really good option. Imagine these two overlapping each other. Kyle Walker probably doesn't need to go as much forward. He's not the pacey option anymore. Although you probably will see Kyle Walker going forward a lot because that is just what we see happen nowadays with City. But again, Savio could even fill in that role. That's really the most of what I've got to say. You know, Savio's footwork, Savio's, you know, it's a good variety in goal contributions as well, by the way. If I go back to this screen here, Savio, you know, he's got 21 GNA, but I'm pretty sure that's like 12 goals, 9 assists, or like 10 goals, 11 assists, something like that. It's in that. They're very close to each other. It's not like he's had 19 goals, 2 assists. It's not like he's a goal machine. He's relatively spread around the board there in terms of his stats. And again, that's what's great about him. You know, that does play a part, I'd like to mention. You know, let's say I'm a winger and this season, you know, near the end of the season, I've had a really good season. I've had 30 goals and 5 assists. It doesn't not mean don't worry about me going in and squaring it, but it just helps give you a tactical edge and thinking, all right, when he runs at me, he's probably going to want to cut in. He's got 30 goals by doing that this season. Obviously, that is a bit unrealistic. I'm not going to get all my goals like that, and neither Savio. But, you know, again, having those kind of assists, it means that he slightly becomes a bit more unpredictable when you read his stats. Next season, that could change. Well, we know he's got 20 goals, 5 assists by the end, and he's much more of a goal machine. Or even it can go the other way. He's got 15 assists and 3 goals, you know. So it can go the other way. But I'm really curious to see how much Savio does bring to City. But what do you think Savio brings to City? Is it just all about his dribbling? Is that the main reason we signed him? His speed. What do you think we signed Savio for? Obviously, we signed him for a good reason. We've probably signed him for everything I've just listed. Let me know how excited you are to see Savio play in blue. You know, he's not coming on the preseason tour, but we're probably going to see him against Man United in the Community Shield. Thank you all for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. Feel free to like and subscribe.